Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is here and pretty much everybody wants to get better than they already are, so I've put together all of the tips I can think of to help you to do that. Yes, 50 of them. That means there's a lot of very simple beginner stuff here, all the way up to more advanced tips, so hopefully there's something for everyone, or at least solid reminders of good play. 3 quick points. These tips are in no particular order. The background gameplay is just background. There was no way I could get specific clips for this many tips this early on in the game, and some of the gameplay is fast and some is very slow and methodical to represent the different requirements for different situations. So be sure to leave your top tip in the comments below and let's get into this. This video is brought to you by the Board of Awesome from the epic people that support the channel on Patreon, and the current goal for the channel is to hit 60k subscribers, currently sitting at 56k. So if you're new here or enjoy this and want to see more, hitting that subscribe button would be fantastic. Thank you so much. Right, I'm going to literally blast through these because there's so many. Just remember what you can. Tip 1. Turn off motion blur in the settings. It might be cool for campaign, but for multiplayer it's nothing but a detriment. 2. Boost up your field of view in the settings. I have mine at about 100 currently. If you keep it at the default, you see less of your surroundings and put yourself at a disadvantage. 3. There's currently pretty strong skill-based matchmaking it seems, so get used to taking more deaths and don't rage. Getting mad only hurts your performance. Instead, try to learn from better opposition. Yes, I know this is a tough one. 4. At the time of making this video, laser attachments do not give away your position to the enemy, so don't worry about that when selecting your attachments. 5. There is wall banging or hitting targets through certain walls in this game. There is no FMJ or full metal jacket attachment, but the wall bangs are affected by the weapon you're using. So LMGs do more damage through surfaces than ARs, which do more than SMGs, etc. 6. UAVs do stack. Using one at the same time as someone else isn't a total waste, as it boosts the UAV ability. 7. Expect a lot of UAV spam, due to how kill streaks are now set up, and how that may influence player kill streak selection. 8. Have an anti-score streak rocket launcher class setup available, so you can switch to it easily mid-game to deal with, for example, heavy UAV spam. 9. Ghost may be very valuable, again due to the UAV spam, but make sure to keep moving otherwise it doesn't work. 10. You can slide jump. Go into a slide and as it's about to end, jump. This makes you a more erratic target to track and gives you another move to use in the right circumstance. 11. Equally, you can queue a slide while in the air. So while in a jump, enter a slide command with whatever button it is that you used, and you will do a slide when you land. 12. You can switch your class during the game as you are alive, so that you automatically then switch to it next time you die. As well as this, you can edit your classes mid-game as well, including what you may have just unlocked. 13. Tweak your audio settings to improve your chances of hearing enemy movement. I personally use high boost. Use whatever personally gives you that sound whoring advantage. 14. Use the ping system to indicate where enemies are if you can't explain it. It's no longer something that's only found in Battle Royale games. 15. At the time of making this video, using the default classes doesn't appear to level up your guns, unless something's been changed, so make use of those custom classes as soon as you can. 16. Don't mash that respawn button out of habit. Check how you died and where the enemy might have been camping or heading to, and then react accordingly when you respawn. 17. Jump shotting seems extremely powerful currently, with some saying it breaks the camera syncing from one player to the opponent. Consider utilizing this. 18. In addition, as jump shotting is so strong, perhaps think about creating a custom control scheme somehow, or investing in a SCUF or Elite controller if you use a controller, so you can aim while jumping. 19. Consider using the tactical layout on controller to make sliding easier and more accessible as it's so strong. This will put crouch and slide on your right stick, but be aware this makes panic knifing more difficult. 20. Drop shotting can catch the enemy off guard, but is only really effective in Cold War if you use the drop shot attachment on your weapon. 21. If you do intend to drop shot, then absolutely switch to tactical layout or something similar as mentioned earlier, so you can go prone with the right stick almost instantly and still aim. 22. Do not sprint everywhere. Know when to slow down. Sprinting makes it harder to be set up for a fight you aren't prepared for, and you make more noise. 23. Snipers have lens glare or flare. When they aim down sight, a bright light is visible from their scope. Check for this and don't challenge them in a disadvantageous scenario. 24. Avoid complex map areas when possible. The map design in Cold War is somewhat questionable. No matter how good you are, you can't check 50 angles all at once. So, especially in kill-based game modes, use these simpler areas and maintain control of your surroundings. 25. Be prepared for a slightly longer TTK or time to kill than you may be used to from, say, the previous COD or other FPS games. Either way, whether it's faster or slower, adapt to that new TTK and don't find yourself stopping firing a bullet short of a kill because you assumed they'd die. 26. Expect shotguns at short range. They are now secondary weapons. If you forget to switch and run into a corridor with your AR or whatever, a shotgun can make super easy work of you. 27. Most of the weapons feel like hit scan, whether they are or not. Often the map design and certainly the bullet velocity makes it so there's little to no leading of your target necessary most of the time, so aim pretty much directly at them and make your bullets count. 28. Use those head glitches and power positions. It's not cheesy or cheap. Other people are going to use them against you, so you should be doing the same. Find those spots to lock down the map and make them yours. 29. Rotate the map effectively, especially in objective-based modes. If you're playing something like Hardpoint, moving to control the next position is almost always more valuable than trying to secure the last few seconds of points on a hardpoint that's about to move. Think ahead. 30. Read the minimap for empty space and likely spawn positions. If there aren't many kills coming in and your team is mostly bunched up, expect the enemy to be in those empty space areas on the minimap, especially in the common hot routes, and expect them to spawn in these spawn locations that your team doesn't currently occupy. It is usually in the opposite primary spawn unless you have a teammate there, in which case they will spawn in a secondary spawn to the left or right usually. 31. Speaking of spawns, pay attention during the first few days and weeks of Cold War as to where you spawn in each map and why. What are the primary spawns and secondary spawns? When do they occur? You can then use that information against the enemy to predict their spawns and lock them down. 32. Also check your minimap for where your teammates are currently looking. Don't just stare in the same direction as them. Cover other angles. Of course though, you can't always rely on your blueberry teammates to actually cover you effectively. 33. When setting up your guns, focus on limiting horizontal recoil. Vertical recoil is far easier to control as you simply need to pull down. 34. You can reload while aiming down sight in Cold War, at least with lots of the weapons that I've tried. So if it suits you, don't feel like you have to come out of ADS and stop watching an area just to reload. 35. Tap fire at range. You can use automatic weapons at long range when you have to. If you're missing, simply stop holding down that trigger and instead fire off bursts. It's far more effective with certain guns. 36. If nothing is working in the game you're in, use an off-meta build or playstyle, at least some of the time. It may not be as good as the usual stuff, but it poses a new problem for the enemy to deal with that they aren't used to. 37. Use everything in the game at least for a while. This way you learn the strengths and weaknesses of everything for when you come up against it. You expand your playbook for a vast array of circumstances, and you may find something you love that nobody else really uses. 38. Build up map knowledge and positioning. Gun skill is obviously very important, but with maps like these, being in a better spot and knowing the sightlines can give you a clear advantage over a more talented player that doesn't know these things. 39. Focus on one specific improvement per play session. It tends to be way more effective. Much like with this video, don't try to do all of it instantly. Pick key things to master and then move on. 40. Headshots can wreck. Very simple but very important, but play based on your ability. Going for headshots and missing a lot consistently means you'll die against people going for the safe and easy body shots. 41. Position your crosshair preemptively. By this I mean you have your screen centered where you're likely going to need to aim. Aiming in on a target you expect to appear somewhere straight away beats having to react and physically move your crosshair a long way because you were lazily looking too far down or off to the side or in a random spot. 42. Play around with crouch spamming during gunfights. See if it works for you or not. Crouch up and down while firing to see if it helps or hurts your performance. 43. Slow down when approaching earning key kill streaks. It's not lame, it isn't camping, it's securing a powerful asset that can help your team to win. 44. Lock down an area of the map, especially in free-for-all. The most consistent way to win is to dominate a specific high traffic area, not to run around the entire map at random. Make an area yours yours, secure the sightlines, and profit from having a better position for each gunfight. 45. Bait your teammates when necessary. Look, if your teammates aren't doing very well, allow them to lead into the engagement and then you can clean up afterwards. It may seem selfish, but it's actually pretty sensible. Don't sacrifice yourself if you need to carry the team. Let them be the meat shield, and vice versa. If you're not doing well, perhaps consider being that meat shield for the person behind you. 46. Bait the enemy with gunfire. People run towards perceived fights sometimes. You can bait them into thinking it's an easy cleanup by firing at basically nothing, then when they run in, you're actually ready for them rather than vice versa. 47. Keep your back to a wall when possible. Being able to focus entirely on your front rather than a full 360 degrees of potential danger is huge. Reduce the chances of being killed with no possibility of retaliation. 48. Pre-fire when applicable. If someone is peeking you or is likely about to hit the corner, fire early to ensure you land damage instantly as they come round. Of course, only do this when it seems sensible. Don't unnecessarily give away your position or risk running out of ammo. 49. Use the right gun for the right map. You may love using a specific weapon, but being stubborn and using it on a map it simply isn't suited to isn't going to do you any favors. A close range map, an SMG is great. A long range map, a DMR is better. And 50. Have fun. Seriously, COD can be a very frustrating experience. Enjoy it. Stay positive. Remember it's a game. Learn from failure and defeat. Enjoy the wins and take breaks when you need to. Don't play angry. And if you don't enjoy it, don't force yourself to play it. And I hope something here helps you out. A lot of basic stuff, but it's stuff that is easily forgotten when playing. Build up those good habits and then implement the more advanced stuff I covered. And so, if you enjoyed, leave me a like. I really would appreciate it. Leave your tips below and subscribe if you're new. I do now stream here, so keep your eyes out for that. And all of the links to my Twitter, Discord, Twitch, where I'll be starting streaming soon as well, and everything else can be found in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I'm GetGoodGuy, and I will see you next time. Laters. My friends will tell you that for the longest time in Destiny, as I keep referencing, they didn't want to play with me because the lobbies were unbearable, whether it be ability or connection, whatever. Now again, this all depends on the game, how the SBMM is implemented, and how strict it is.